This is Tax Talk. Tax Talk is an education and information program about the taxes you pay and the revenues generated thereafter for the development of Mama Liberia and the awareness of all our great taxpayers along with their family members. Tax Talk is facilitated by the Taxpayer Services Division and the Communication, Media and Public Affairs section here at the Liberia Revenue Authority, LRA. I'm Alvin Jask with it. Thanks for joining us, and you are always welcome on this program. This is the Liberia Revenue Authority with locations here at LY Junction. This institution having come into establishment back in 2013 and started 4 operations in 2014, has been working assiduously to enhance revenue generation in Liberia and infrastructure facilities for the people therein. To do this, there must be a regular meeting, which is the general meeting of the staff. Recently, a meeting, and of course, in another quarter, that take place at the Pinsville Town Hall, where there were interactions from the top to the lower man within the operations of revenue generation and tax administration in Liberia. The Commissioner General and CEO, Afrida Stewart Tamba, of this entity was on the top with the projection of basic revenue generation in the country.
Thanks to all taxpayers for paying
in the counties in total $1.8 million, and Nima County contributed 27% of that amount in the amount of $482,000.
This was about reporting about the different aspects of revenue generation from the various counties across the country.
So let us spread the word. We go, we see Nima, this will be in the newspapers. We Nima, Maryland, Grand Cape Man, Magibi, Bong, Grand Bassa, Lofa, Bombing, Grand Judas, Sino, Monserrato. We talk here rural Monserrato, River G, Grand Crew, Bapolo, and River Cess. So let the collectors know, particularly those from Nima County, that we recognize them here, and although they are not here, please let us give them a round of applause. When you add the 160 and the 14 in terms of total resources available to the government for the period, you have $174 million. Of this amount, customs contributed 49% and domestic tax 48%. External resources 3%. So when in earlier years you will see that the budget was largely supported by external resources. We're talking about, when we say external resources on budget, we see on budget. That means those resources that are transmitted through the general revenue account. The other resources that are provided to government but not through the general revenue account, that are provided through various projects. So in terms of how this money came in, we received 52% in US dollars and 48% in Liberian dollars. So we want to tell everybody thank you.
no tax payment, no development.
Another quarter has just ended and a new one is beginning, moving to the new year. Recently, the CGE and CEO, Afrida Stewart Tamba, was in a big meeting with the staff. But what was captured at that meeting was recent developments as it relates to the strong effort by custom officers sending money back to central headquarters as revenue generated from the lower parts of the country. So NIMA came top, and different other counties are in the list. But CG, you've been speaking about that. Give us a little synopsis of your own happiness, what is happening within your own work area as relates to the revenue generated by your people on a domestic level.
I mean, our focus is domestic resource mobilization.
Yep.
And like we indicated in the staff meeting, we try to look at the revenue collected from the counties. Okay, the collection made by the payments made by small and medium taxpayers within the counties. And what we reflected at the staff meeting was exactly that. So, and we see there NIMA County top the revenue collection from the counties. That means in NIMA County we collected the most. Yeah.
And then
We collected the largest amount from NIMA County when we compare with all of the other counties, including Monserrato, but rural Monserrato.
okay, so NIMA doesn't have a port of entry like the free port, like an airport, but yesterday they made them break. To what means? The Ganta
Yeah.
borders or the different borders?
Where we have the report reflect their customs
okay.
and domestic tax.
Okay, with the
So when we
companies.
aggregate customs and domestic tax, we see that NIMA came on top. And we can share that with you. We share the report with you so you can provide that information to the public. And the details, no problem, the details can be made available to the public.
Okay, and then I heard you say external flow of revenue is becoming lesser and lesser. Speak to that.
Well, donor resources and donor support drying up. This is all over the world. It's only particular to Liberia. All developing countries experiencing the same thing. So clearly, and this is why you have that in the SDGs, which we spoke to, and also in the Africa agenda. We must mobilize our own revenue for our own development. As a people, we must do that. And this is why signing an MOU with the Liberian Business Association, so together we can help better sensitize our people, better educate our people so that we facilitate the voluntary compliance. And by so doing, the cost of collection will be reduced because people will come and voluntarily comply.
The tax that you pay, see how things improving.
So, in its efforts to enhance revenue, there are partnerships being enshrined through MOUs. One today has been done through the Liberia Business Association called LIBA, and it can only be said best by the Commissioner General and CEO of the Liberia Revenue Authority, the LRA, Madam Frida Stewart Tamba, who is a major signatory to this latest memorandum
Today
of understanding.
is a good day for Mama Liberia. The fact that the revenue institution and the Liberia Business Association can come together and partner is an indication that we indeed believe that together we can build Mama Liberia. A key component of our strategic plan and also our domestic resource mobilization strategy is the formation of partnerships. We have to form partnerships with various apex institutions in order for us to achieve our mandate. Revenue agencies around the world normally partner with apex institutions. Domestic resource mobilization is a cogent component of both the Sustainable Development Goals and also our own Africa agenda. And under the SDG, it is pillar number 17. Also, under the Africa agenda of the Africa we all want, it is clear that the African Union and Africa, they are looking to revenue institutions to mobilize the necessary resources for the development of Africa. How can we achieve that? We can only achieve that if we collaborate with various stakeholders in the DRM space in order to achieve the mandate. And when we achieve our mandate, then we achieve it for the good of the Liberian people. Because we all are set as a people to benefit our children, grandchildren, relatives, and friends, to benefit if we can achieve the mandate. Because the more government is empowered, the more government can spend and invest in the appropriate avenues in order that all Liberians can feel the taxes that they are paying. Key also is that the various communities must feel the impact of their contributions to the consolidated part. So likewise, the revenue institution Liberia, the LRA, we advocate that as we move forward, there must be greater revenue sharing, whereby communities feel the impact of their contributions. Because many times when our collectors go out and the education, the people involved in tax education, this is a concern. So in order to address this concern, we have been advocating, particularly within the real estate sector, that there should be that we can start with that. And when the decentralization is finally consummated and legislated, you will see that in the decentralization law currently before the legislature. But clearly we have to start. We were just speaking today, and that so we have been also undertaking research in Sierra Leone. And you see in Sierra Leone, also in the diamond subsector, the resources there in the mineral sector, particularly for the diamond subsector, you see that there is sharing. So a portion of the sales, that whenever they sell a piece of diamond, a portion of the revenue generated from the sale of a piece of diamond in Sierra Leone goes to the community, directly to the community. So it is important as we move forward, we begin to ensure from the policy side that there is the impact in the communities, and also that the clear policies as to how the communities can benefit from the resources or from the natural resources or generated directly from the community. So today we have commenced this collaboration journey towards the actualization of this partnership with the Liberia Business Association. We say thank you for the collaborative attainment so far. Today we have attained the signing of the MOU. Our country needs development. Most of our people lack the very basic. How can we improve the lives of our people? And we can do that if together we can build Mama Liberia. if we all, including all of us, pay our fair share of the taxes. So to achieve the enormous task of building our beloved Mama Liberia, the Liberia we all want, then we must continue to strengthen our collaboration. So we say thank you, and we look forward to strengthening our relationship. Our team has been working with you, and our office remain open as we continue our collaboration in this journey of bettering the compliance, the voluntary compliance from the Liberian businesses and also businesses in general.
LRA Commissioner General and CEO Frida Stewart Tabma, along with key members of her administration, in a firm commitment with the Liberia Business Association LIBA as regards voluntary tax compliance in Liberia.
This interaction with the Liberia Business Association started some time ago. The intent was for us to get from the formal sector taxpayers that we have not reached, or we have reached but not extensively, and then to formalize them. So in our interactions, we made contact with the President, the Secretary General. Several interactions were made, several meetings were held in our offices, and then the draft MOU was done. The content of the MOU is to ensure that we expand our tax base through awareness and education to all of the members of the Liberia Business Association. We want to say thank you to the Liberia Business Association for affording us this opportunity that will allow the Liberia Revenue Authority to expand its tax base, especially to taxpayers in the small, medium enterprises in our economy. We know about this. We will reach out not only to taxpayers in the informal sector in Montserrat County, but like the MOU speaks to, we will be able to reach out to the 15 political subdivisions with taxpayers in those subdivisions where your membership is concerned.
Darlington Tallery, LRA Commissioner of Domestic Tax, reiterating a great memorandum of understanding between the LRA and the Liberian Business Association LIBA, which is currently under the leadership of David K. Sembe.
The purpose of this MOU is to strengthen our already existing tie and the cooperation between the two institutions. As we may be aware, Liberia, as a nation and people, we are already faced with severe economic crisis. And even under our transformation period, one of the cardinal focus is domestic resource mobilization strategy. And how can we enhance that? We need to collaborate collectively to be able to work together to mobilize our domestic resource, because we already know there is donor fatigue, and even our national budget is supported by donors. Our national development initiative is heavily supported by donors, and we cannot continue on the path of that. By the fact that we have signed this memorandum of understanding, we want to assure the Liberian Revenue Authority that the bank remains committed in ensuring that we fully implement all of the provisions that in the MOU.
The LRA and the Liberian Business Association have had a long-standing relationship. We've collaborated on several fronts relative to how we can enhance our own collaboration and how we can contribute our quota to the taxes that is needed in our country. As you are aware, the Liberian Business Association is the apex body for Liberian-owned businesses established by an act of legislation. And because of that, we have jurisdiction over the 15 political subdivisions of Liberia in order to work with the domestic private sector. So the Liberia Revenue Authority, acknowledging and understanding our role, saw it expedient to collaborate with us relative to enhancing our relationship. There comes a time where you cannot do things alone, we cannot do things alone. But with collaborative efforts, we can achieve a lot together. And today is evidence of that. The MOU signed today basically focuses on key pillars such as providing joint education initiatives to the Liberian domestic private sector, because oftentimes we feel that, or the smaller business feel that the LRA has been too tough on them, the LRA has not been understanding, the LRA has been unreasonable. By the end of the day, the LRA has to do her job too. The LRA has her mandate, and her mandate is a legislated mandate that not even the Commissioner General can temper with relative to the different costs associated with taxes, be it overhead tax, income tax, whatever kind of tax and revenue collection that may be. So we, on the other hand, from the business side of it, needs to be cognizant of the fact that the LRA has her role. We have our role as well. Part of the MOU speaks to us having joint team providing information to our members across the country. Now that we've signed the MOU, we intend to come up with a work plan. We intend to make it a living document. We intend to come up with a program that would basically see both LIBA and that of the Liberia Revenue Authority working together in order to execute every single aspect of it. We have our portion that has to do with providing the necessary facilities in order for trainings to be held. The LRA has her portion, part of which is to help facilitate these trainings and provide the necessary information. Other portions of the MOU speaks to our joint collaboration relative to informing our members of their duties and responsibilities and the need for them to adequately adhere to their own responsibility when it comes to what needs to be paid by them when it comes to taxes. So there are several components of the MOU that we're excited about. We're looking forward to implementing it to its fullest. What a way to end the year. We think that there are great prospects ahead. We look forward to working with the LRA. We look forward to implementing all of the different components of the MOU to its fullest, to the benefit of the both parties involved. We're excited moving forward at the beginning of next year. Once we prepare the work plan, we will be able to go out into the counties. And once we go out as a joint team, our members will feel a sense of comfort knowing that LRA is not just here to talk to us again. LRA is not just here to come and take money from us, but we will also be there informing them of their responsibility, our responsibility as private sector, as well as the responsibility of LRA, and by extension, the government. So at the end of the day, we're excited. We're looking forward to the implementation of this. We want to thank the Commissioner General once more. We want to thank her able team of commissioners, and it's been a great working relationship, and we're looking forward to further enhancing it in the year 2018. It's been an absolute pleasure being here and working on this document, and watching it being signed today has been very, very enlightening and helpful to all of us. Thank you.
Thanks for paying your taxes. Oh. LRA say thanks for paying your taxes. Oh, thanks for paying your taxes.
Sir Samoa, LRA Commissioner of Customs, was amongst the LRA top officials that participated in the signing ceremony of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Liberian Business Association and the LRA. He wants this document and the agreement operationalized as soon as possible.
I wouldn't like to go back to the statements of the Commissioner of Domestic Taxes, the Commissioner General, and the President of LIBA about the importance of this collaboration. But all we can say is that it is inevitable that for the tax administration to succeed, we need the business associations like the CG, rightly reported, the apex institutions to collaborate. And for the apex institutions to succeed, for individual businesses to succeed, they also need the tax authority for the right collaboration. And together, we ensure that we can achieve the ultimate objective. Objective number one, you have the enabling environment for fair and transparent tax administration. And we are also able to raise the revenue that the country needs for development. We want to thank you. After the signing of the MOU, we look forward to the actualization, the real operationalization of that MOU. And as Customs Commissioner, standing under the command of the Commissioner General, we also like to inform you that there are a number of initiatives that we are undertaking, especially at the level of the port. I know the President mentioned the issue of last year where we had a crisis about this time. We're grateful that this year we don't have a similar crisis. Things are moving seamlessly in the port. There are other trade facilitation measures that we are pushing forth. Our compliance team is out educating people, and what we want to see this time around is a lot of small and micro businesses involved with the compliance trader program. Today, we've been able to roll out 40 made 40 businesses to the compliance trader program. Those communications have gone out already. And what it means, just for simple education, is that doing business with customs, having verified your tax and customs compliance, you make your declarations at the port with less intervention from customs, and you'll be able to clear your goods from the port in a very short space of time. It saves you time and it gives you more money. But our objective is we want to see Liberian businesses admitted to that particular program. And the way to be admitted is to demonstrate to the Liberian Revenue Authority that you're compliant with all your tax and customs obligations. So we want to thank you, and we hope that you can take this message back. I know we've been engaging with you from time to time, and we will continue to do a lot more. A few weeks ago, we had some engagement, and we're coming back again for another engagement on the centralized assessment. Thank you, and we look forward to the operationalization of this particular MOU.
Tax Talk is produced by the Taxpayer Services Division and, of course, the Communication, Media and Public Affairs section of the LRA. Aaron Kane has been doing the editing, and I'm Alvin Jacks with the presentation. See you next time, as we will be coming back with a brand new production, an edition of Tax Talk. See you soon.